vacation. Today is Wednesday. Let me give y'all a quick backstory. Hello as always to my returning subscribers and what's up to my newbies. So I started in this position like maybe 7 months ago, 8 months ago, and I quit. Yesterday was my last day in the department. I'm still with the company, but I have another job. So let me tell you how crazy this has been. The company that I work for, I work in a hospital for those who are new here. And you have to be in the position for 6 months before you can transfer over to any other department, right? Which is actually kind of dope because the hospital that I worked in when I was in New York, it had to be a year. You had to be in the same position before you could move anywhere. So this one is only 6 months, so that's good. So when 6 months hit, like prior to 6 months, I already knew that I wanted to try to transfer out. It wasn't that I didn't like the department because I want to put that out there. The department was fine. People were nice, whatever the case, but I just, you know what I'm saying? You know when you just want something different, you want something, whatever the case. So I started applying all kinds of jobs, getting interviews like right away. I'm talking right away. And it was like getting down to the wire. A lot of them were for like administrative jobs and management jobs. So there was 2 jobs that was like neck and neck. One was for a remote position. It was an admin position, but it was in finance. So something completely different than I ever did before, right? The second one was working in peds, and it was also an admin position. So like both interviews I killed, I knocked it out the park because what I'm doing now is when I interview, I'm being myself. I'm not like, before when I used to interview, I would be very, very robotic. Oh, we're not doing hair, by the way. Like we'll do hair in another part of the video, but this is like just my intro. This happened to me like right now, so I just kind of wanted to tell you all about this. I used to be very robotic in my interviews, like giving the, you know, the standard answers and just being like, you know what I mean? Like, and I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I used to take my nose ring out. Like there was so many different things that I used to do. I would make sure that my hair was a certain way because I didn't want to look too ethnic. All of that. I would take my earrings out. I don't do that anymore. What you see right here, this is how I start being in an interview. Nose ring stays in, hair is going to be hair in whatever way. Okay, the earrings, I don't change anything. The reason I do that now is because I'm like, if you hire me for the position and I come and I'm like how I normally am, you're gonna be like, who is this? Where did this come from? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of do it, so you know what it is from jump. And I think that's just how it should be. So I had my interviews. They went really, really well. The interview that I thought, well, not the interview, the job that I really thought that I was gonna get, I did not get. And the one that I didn't think that I was gonna get, I did get, right? So the peds job, let's talk about that first. Y'all know I wanted to be in peds. The people, when I tell y'all this interview, like the first interview, it was only slated for an hour and it was a panel interview. If you're unfamiliar with a panel interview, you meet with like multiple people at once. So in this particular interview, it was 5 people, right? Excluding myself. Dope interview. I'm talking laid back. It was again slated for 1 hour. It wound up going like almost 2 hours because we was just chopping it up. Like we was just talking and just, I don't know. It was just so relaxing. And I like those kind of interviews. I really do. It was very, very nice. I felt like the people were real nice. Like you can kind of tell a BSer. I'm still on Lent, so I'm really, really watching my curse words. You can tell a BSer. You know what I'm saying? Like I can spot one a mile away. I can totally spot it. I never felt any of that. Super genuine. Even in the interview, I mean, not the interview, in the emails, they was like sending me heart emojis. They was sending me smiley face emojis, exclamation, like 3 days after the interview, they're still talking to me. And just, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a totally different experience. So I got called back for a second interview. And this time it was another panel interview, but it was like 4 different other people. These were all senior vice presidents, every single one. So I was going in and I was like, oh, this is a little intimidating. But I was like, you know what? No, we got this. So again, killed it. Like it you know what I'm saying? Loved it, loved it, love it. Good positive feedback, everything like that. So fast forward 2 weeks, I hadn't heard anything. I was like, yo, what's going on? But the way that my job is set up, you can check on the portal to see if you got declined for a job or whatever the case. I still didn't see that. I was still in the running. So I was like, as long as I don't see, you know, no longer being considered, that means I'm still good to go, right? So the remote job, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. It was also, like I said, it was for admin. And the way that they had it posted was very different than I've ever seen any job before. It was like, it said you must apply by, and it had this date and this time. So the date that I saw it and applied for it was, it happened to be the actual date that was the last day to apply for the job. And the cutoff time, let's just say the cutoff time was like 3 o'clock, which might be actually true. It was 2:30. So like, you know what I'm saying? That was crazy for me to actually see that on the last day and right before the cutoff time. So I went ahead, I applied for it. Didn't realize it was a remote position until after the fact. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever the case. I had that interview. This interview was not as like playful and laid back as the other one, but it was very much star oriented, if that makes sense. It was very straight to the point. It was very like, I'm gonna ask her, you know, next time I talk to her if she's a Scorpio or not, because she was very direct. She was just very like, yo, this is what it is and this is what it's not type thing. And I appreciated that. She told me what the pay was in the interview, and they never tell you what the pay is in the interview. You always find out later, and they need to really normalize either posting the pay, like some states is by law, or just telling you in the interview, because you don't want to waste your time if something is like below what you're looking for, or you want something and it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a waste of everybody's time. Just tell me what it is. And she said that. She was like, yo, I like to tell everybody up front what the pay is. She was like, it's between this and this. And I was just like, oh, bet. I'm already here in the middle. I'm in between what your thing is. So that means we only going up from here. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, let's run it. And that interview, it went good. It went good. But again, 2 weeks, I heard nothing. I was like, oh man, what's going on? What's doing? You know, I'm sending my thank you emails, da 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 da. But again, I'm still checking. It does not say no longer being considered. So then out of nowhere, I get an email from HR, and they're like, do you mind if we contact your current boss, because you've been selected as one of the final candidates, one of the final candidates. This is for the remote job. Is it okay if we contact your boss to get a reference? I didn't tell my boss that I was applying to jobs. Like, I didn't let her know. So I was kind of like, off the bat, I just was like, yeah, go ahead, da-da-da. But then I thought about it, and after I set my response, I thought about it, and I'm like, that's actually wrong. Because what if I don't get the job for whatever reason, but you've already contacted my boss, so now it's gonna have like an awkward presence there, because now she knows I'm trying to jump ship. You feel me? Like, I don't really like that. Like, how is that? It's not a HIPAA violation. If you don't know what HIPAA means like you can't tell anybody's medical history, any medical information to somebody else if they have not given you explicit permission to do so, preferably in writing. So it's kind of like, that's the way that I felt. And I wrote back and I told him that. I was like, yo, after second thought, I thought what I just told y'all, like, what if I don't get the job and da-da-da? I am worried about like an uncomfortable work experience going forward. Like, I put it into my own words, and then my coworker told me about Chat G or whatever, Chat GT, TG, whatever it is. It basically fixes your grammar for you. Like, it makes it sound a certain way. You just tell it what you want it to do. Like, I put in, make this sound more professional. And I typed up what I wanted to say. And then it says your words, but it just flips it. It makes it sound like dope. And I sent that. He was like, unfortunately, this is company policy. We have to talk to a current boss. And I was just like, yo, y'all grimy. Like, y'all grimy. Y'all really trying to set people up for the okie doke. That's so grimy to me. It's messy. It's mad messy. So, but whatever. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and talk to my boss and let her know. Let me give her a heads up before you reach out to her. So he was like, bet, let me know. When you talk to her, then I'll go ahead and reach out. So I was like, okay, cool. So I emailed my boss, my current boss, emailed her, and I was like, listen, some things I had, I was like, some things changed at home, whatever the case. Like, I had to say what I had to say. Some things changed at home. I saw a position, I applied for it. I've been moved to like the last round. And right now, all that's left is for them to talk to you for a reference. And she was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I could hear it. She wasn't upset, but her voice was definitely like, where did this come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I've only been in this since July of 2024. We're now in March. So I haven't even made a year there. So I let her know, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case. And then I went back and I emailed HR and I said, okay, you can contact her, you can let her know, whatever. So the next day, I think that's when I heard from HR, he calls me. calls me on the phone. As soon as I saw the number of the hospital, not the number, the name of the hospital popped up. So I knew it was one of the jobs. I was like, okay, let's just see what it is. Who is it? Who's contacting me? But it was actually for another job, wanting me to interview with them. Same hospital, because I applied to bad jobs and I was just like, at this point I was burnt out and I just turned it. I was like, I can't, I'm good. But then I got another phone call and it was for the remote position. And he was like, we just want to let you know that your reference came back great and we want to offer you the position. This is for the remote job. So I was just like, oh, like I was excited, but I was also like, oh, because I was really trying to hear from peds. I was trying to see what they was talking about. Mind you, I still hadn't heard anything from them. So he was like, this is what the salary is. And I was like, okay, is it negotiable? He was like, what you trying to do? And I told him, this is where I'm trying to go. He was like, all right, I'll present it to her, and it's not that I was being greedy, because when I got the job that I just had, they presented me with a certain number and I came back and I asked for more, a specific more, and I got that specific more. So if you don't ask, you don't get. You could say no, 100% you could say no, but I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna always ask. Is it negotiable? Can we talk about this? Right? And I got it. So this time, I guess because I was already at the max or whatever, and they probably wouldn't be able to go any further, they declined what I asked for. But it's fine, because what they were offering is still more than what I was making in the current role. So whatever, it's a win-win, it's fine. Because I don't chase money. Like, never chase money, never. Always chase, chase what you like, chase your dreams, chase your passion. Don't chase money. You can print money. Money is always gonna be there. Don't chase money, because 9 times out of 10 when you chase money, you wanna be miserable. But it don't hurt to ask, okay? We're not chasing, it's a little jog. I'm not chasing it, it's a little jog. So I was like, well, can I have some time to think about it? I don't want to accept right on the spot, because again, peds might call, right? And he was like, yeah, I can give you until tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow? So I was like, okay, whatever, fine, that's great. Thank you, whatever. So, I'm a very transparent person. So I told him, again, he's HR. So I was like, I can tell him this. I was like, I just want to let you know. And I told him about the peds job. And he was like, let me see what I can find out. So he was like, I'm going to contact her and just see where she's standing in terms of you, without being too suspicious. But at this point, you know what? Be suspicious. Like, be blatant. Like, be mad blatant with it. Let her know that, yo, we offered to start this position. What y'all trying to do? Because I need to know so that I can make an informed decision, right? So he got back to me like maybe a day later or 2 days later. And he was like, they still don't know, but they said that I'm one of the top people that they're, gonna go with. And he's like, I looked up the salary, and he was like, the salary would be the same as what we're offering you. So I was like, all right, at least that makes me feel good, because there's nothing worse. Again, this is not chasing money. This is just about business. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing worse than picking one position and then you find out you got selected for another position and that one was more and you have already accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I get an email. No, I'm sorry. With that being said, I just said, you know what? F it. I went ahead and I accepted the remote position. Because again, he only gave me until that very next day. So I accepted it. Okay, I signed the offer letter. And they have me starting on April 7th. So I was like, I'm not going to go straight into one job from another job. Like, I need some time to like chill, decompress, get my mind together, set up some things, whatever the case. So I contacted my current boss and I asked, I was like, yo, can I do PTO? I'm putting in my 2-week notice, number one. So I did that. This was on like March 11th. It was a Tuesday. And I gave him my 2-week notice, which made yesterday the 2 weeks. So with that, I was like, and then the remaining time, I said from the 26th, from the 26th until April 4th, I want to do PTO. I didn't tell her I wanted, like, I requested it the proper way. Because again, I'm not no beef with her. So she gave me a little pushback and she was like, I don't think, you can do that. She asked me to cover somebody on the 31st. I just gave you my 2-week notice, meaning my last day would be the 25th. And then you asked me to cover somebody on the 31st. I'm not the best at math, but so that was that. And then she told me to contact HR to find out what the policy was, because from what she understood, you're not allowed to use, if you're transitioning to another job, whether it's internal or external, you're not allowed to use PTO for the last 2 weeks of your notice. Technically, I wasn't. My 2-week notice ended yesterday, the 25th. I was asking for PTO from the 26th to the 4th. So what I was requesting was after the 2 weeks. So I contacted HR. I put a ticket in. I spoke to them. And they was like, yeah, that is typically Atrium's policy. And then I let him know, okay, well, I said, well, I'm not trying to use my last 2 weeks as PTO. I'm going to work those 2 weeks. I was like, I'm asking for PTO after. And he was like, oh, well, in that case, you know, as long as your boss okays it, you can do it that way, or you can take it unpaid. Who? I'm sorry, who? We gonna take it what? Unpaid? I'm not a volunteer, sir. No. So I went back to my boss. But before I went back to her, she sends me an email. She was like, oh, you know what? It's okay. I actually don't need you for the 31st. So if you want to go ahead and put in the PTO, you got it. So start putting her PTO. So I'm on PTO from the 26th until April 4th. And then I start the new job on April 7th. And then, you know, I get, what happened? Oh, then I get the email from Peds. I promise y'all, I promise, all my cowboys, I promise. I got the email from Peds. And I got one sent to my work email and one sent to my personal email. The work email, let's start with the personal email. The personal email first was, they were letting me know that they said, and I wish I had my phone with me so I could really read it to y'all. It said verbatim, I didn't get selected for that job. They said because they felt that I would get bored. So in other words, they were saying I was overqualified. They said they would prefer to put me in a management position. Find it. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. Mind you, I already accepted the remote position. I'm like, y'all can come to me yesterday and tell me this? Now, true, I have not started the remote position. So I could have just been about my business and hit up that position and backed out of it because I hadn't started yet. And I feel like it would be better if you back out of something before you start versus starting and then leaving a couple of weeks later. Even though I couldn't, because once I have essentially started, I wouldn't be able to leave for 6 months anyway. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do her like that, because she was real nice in the interview. She was real dope to me. Like, she ain't done nothing to me. Like, it might be a crazy position I'm in for. It might be as finance. It's always gonna be crazy. It's money. But I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it to her. Not gonna do it. Then, to my work email, I get an email from the vice president of pediatrics. One of the ones that I interviewed with. And she titles it Future Possibilities. That's the title of the email. And, you know, she was telling me how dope I was, how much she enjoyed the interview, all of that. And then telling me that she has 2 locations that are getting ready to open up. One in this particular city and one in the city that I live in. The other city is close. It's just a little bit. It's like 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away. Both for peds, but just different specialties of peds. And I can't make this up. I swear I can't make this up. And she was reaching out to offer me to run either one of those clinics. Yes, everything that you're saying, 100%. Everything that you're saying and more. You're right. I know. Like, stop yelling at me. I know. Trust me, I know. But again, I didn't want to do the one that I accepted. I didn't want to do her like that. So I told her, I was like, oh my gosh. That was the first thing that I said to Diva. Oh my gosh. Like, I didn't know, my flabber was gasted. Okay? And I let her know, I was like, I just accepted another position. And she was like, oh, well, I guess congratulations are in order. And I was like, depends on your perception. That's what I said to her. Because, at that point, I was so exhausted. I didn't know what to say to her. We had like small talk back and forth. And she's like, well, do you mind if I just hold your information? She's like, you never know what might open up in the future. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. Because we never want to close a door. We might crack it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to crack it a little bit, but we never close it all the way. Because when God opens. And he opened a lot of doors this day for me. He opened a lot of doors. And I be talking to him. I be asking him. And it's always like that for me. Like, I would think that, God be just like, if you don't leave me alone. Because he be doing that to me sometimes. He does. And then out of nowhere, boom. When I tell you he be kicking down doors and just opening all of them up at multiple times. So that is what my last 2 weeks has been like. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. I had a chance to run peds. Like, do you understand? Like, if you don't know me personally, you don't understand. But I've just always wanted to be in peds. And now you offer me not one, but two? I could pick what facility I want? What are you saying right now? What are you talking about? But anyway, so that's that. It's done. I accepted the remote, like I said. We start April 7th. So my new boss was super nice. She sent out an email welcoming me. Like, literally the next day after I accepted the offer, she sent out an email to 85 people. 85. Ocho cinco. I had to think for a second. And just welcoming me, saying what my position is. And she talked about my experience. I never had anybody do that before. You know how they say, we're welcoming this person. They have X amount of experience. They come from this. They have this, the degree. I've never had any boss do that for me. She was like, Starlay has vast experience in X, Y, and Z. She earned her master's degree and this and this and this. Like, it was so dope. I've been corporate since I was 23. Since I was 23. And I've never had a boss do that, ever. Like, talk about me in such a high light. And it had like balloons and it was the works. It could be a setup. You're right. I know. But I chose not to look at it like that. I was like, nah, this is dope. So then after that, like, all the people on the email started replying back to me individually, telling me, welcome, we can't wait to have you come on board. We're super excited. Like, you're joining the best team ever. Da-da-da-da, like, it just was going on for days. And I was like, wow. Then, again, because this is internal, then my new boss sends me an email invite or a calendar invite. She's taking me out to lunch. She's taking me out on my first day. She blocked off an hour and a half for my, for our lunch. So I was just like, oh my God. I told my coworker, I was like, this is the place that she wants to take me to. And she was like, yeah, I know that place. She was like, they got good food, da-da-da-da. I was like, okay, bet. So I don't know. I'm just not used to stuff like this. I'm just really not. So then, maybe like a week later. No, 2 weeks later. I take that back. It was like 2 weeks later. No, I'm sorry. Go back. Yes, a week later, I started getting all these emails. She put in tickets because I connected with her to talk to her and just be like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And she put in a bunch of tickets with IT to get me access to this and to this and to this, different systems. She ordered me 2 monitors, a keyboard, mouse. Like, she put in everything, badge access, like, right away. She was like, I'm hoping to do this now so that, when you're ready to start, you have everything already ready to go. And I was like, I like the way she works, like, da-da-da-da. So I've been getting emails from IT that, this is completed, we got this. So I really should be good to go. So 2 days ago, I got an email from my new boss again. And it was like, see you in 2 weeks, exclamation point. It had a smiley face, and then it was a picture of the start date, April 7th. Now, it was cute, but it pissed me off. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why it pissed me off. Again, I don't know why I'm in my bathroom if we're not doing hair. It pissed me off because I'm just a weird Scorpio. I'm like that. Like, you know, I have to overthink everything, and I gotta like side-eye everything. And I'm like, why are you so eager? Why? What am I walking into? What's happening? What's going on? Talk to me. What's going on? What's going on? Like, I know my start date. I know my start date. But anyway, so you know, that's that. So now, different situation altogether. I just paid $300 for my cat today. So Simba, my orange cat, my orange baby, been whining, little droplets of blood here and there for like a day, and just acting weird. So of course I Google it. First thing that pops up is UTI, urinary tract infection. I was like, oh, I didn't know cats could get that. So fast forward, I made an appointment since I'm on vacation. I was like, I'm gonna take him today. Took him today. They did a blood a urine urinalysis. Urine urinalysis, is that a double? They did a urinalysis. Okay? They had to stick a needle up there. And the doctor was like touching him and looking all in there with no gloves. So I was just like, wow, okay, he don't play about his job. He's serious in there. He was like, yes, it's blood in the urine. He said he also has some crystals in there. And I was like, oh, he fancy. He's like, no, that's not a good thing. Okay. Well, listen, you need to explain that to me. You need to explain, because if I had crystals in my urine, honey, I'm gonna try to sell it. I know that's weird, but whatever. So he got his rabies shot. He got his nails clipped. He got amoxicillin for the UTI. He got pain medication. He got a full exam. So all of that came to like $280. So I'm gonna tell you right now, don't get no pets. Your girl was not prepared to spend $3 bills today at all. At all. Okay? But I'm glad I know what it is. And they said, okay, we want you to come back in 10 days after you've been giving him the medication to make sure that it's gone. God, let it be gone. Please let it be gone. Because they said the next step would be to do an x-ray of the belly to just see if he has kidney stones or anything like that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this poor cat. My baby weighs 16.3 pounds. He is heavy. And they were shocked. They was like, I said, he's only 2. She was like, oh, you a dense boy, huh? When she picked him up. And I'm laughing to myself because Rock has his appointment Friday, just for a regular checkup. Rock is bigger than Sim. So I already know Rock is gonna be like 20 pounds. I already know, like 20, 21 pounds. And I asked the doctor, I was like, am I feeding them too much? You know what I'm saying? I feed them 2 times a day. Is that too much? Should I cut down to just 1? I was feeding them 3 times. And all my friends jumped on me like, yo, that's too, what are you doing? Da, da, da. The doctor said 2 times a day is fine. So we're gonna keep it at 2 times. And I don't feed them that much. But Simba is smaller than Rock for whatever reason. They eat the same time of day. It's just, I don't know, Rock just is bigger. So, and now Rock is hissing and growling at Sim because he can smell the vaccine, the rabies vaccine. He can smell him, and I guess maybe he smells like the doctor's on him. And when I researched it, it was like cats can sense that. They can sense it, and they take that smell as you're a stranger. You're stranger danger type thing. So Rock is growling at him and hissing at him. It's crazy. But yeah, it cost me $3 bills. So if you're thinking about getting a pet, don't freaking do it. Unless they can live in water. That's it. Don't do it. No cats, no dogs, none of that stuff. Because if they get sick, you gotta pay. So that was my day. And, you know, and then I went to the gym, which was great. I went to the gym dumb early. So that was good. And now I'm chilling. So I was like, let me start filming now. And that's that. All right. I'll be back. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, or if I'm going to just be doing hair. I don't know what I'm combining stuff. But while I'm off, I'm going to just film. Because like I'm off, like I said, until April 4th. So we're just going to just film. That's what we're going to do. We're going to film. Yeah. All right. I'll be back at some point. Bye.